Hello everybody, how are you today? Today, we're watching Wansee Entertainment. So, yeah. Okay, so sorry, last episode, I did Wansee Entertainment again, so now I'm gonna do it again, and then we're gonna do balloons today. We're gonna finish the round 100 today. Okay, so let's just go. The woman in the motel. Wansee Entertainment. Okay, whatever.
It was one night. I was drinking out with my
Blankets
two
on.
friends when we left the bar after drinking and chattering for a long time. The last bus had left already. Well, I guess we have to stay a night somewhere. One of
What?
my friends told me, and we had no choice but to
Don't
stop at the
ever go
motel
to a
and sleep together.
motel.
We lay side by side
Oh,
in
shoot.
bed, and it was about 2 hours after that everyone became
Bro,
quiet.
that bed's so
The one who
small.
was sleeping in the middle suddenly woke me up with a frightened face.
Why?
Hey, let's get out of here right now, she said.
But why the
We
heck
just
do you
lie
get
down, I
out?
grumbled. But she said this again and again in haste. Please, let's go. I'll tell you the reason later. If you want to stay here, then I'll leave alone.
Okay,
I
go,
felt
bro.
something
We don't
uneasy
care,
about her
bro.
reaction, so I woke up and shook another friend's shoulder lying next to me. But he didn't wake up no matter how many times I woke him up.
Deep sleeper.
Since we were all drunk and couldn't communicate properly with each other, I finally decided to go back with her first, leaving him in the motel. While I
Okay.
was just killing my time at a convenience store nearby until the time of the first bus, my cell phone suddenly rang. It
Oh,
was a
shoot.
phone call from him who was at the motel. Wasn't he
Nope.
sleeping? Thinking like that, I answered the phone and he screamed at once. Why do you guys leave me alone in that room? Oh no, he must have seen it too, she muttered blankly. Later, my friend said that they saw
What?
something in the room. As one of my friends felt thirsty
Who
during
saw?
sleeping, she woke up and went to the refrigerator to get some water. And at that moment, a woman with long hair suddenly appeared from the ceiling, hanging upside down.
Oh, shoot, no.
Her face was covered
No.
with blood. She heard a voice
No.
from her that seemed to appeal
No.
to something, but she couldn't understand
no.
what it meant. Her body was so stiff that she couldn't move, as if she had been paralyzed. However, the
Shoot,
moment she
bro.
turned her eyes, the woman disappeared, and she was finally able to move again. Early that day, I joined with my boyfriend and went home right away.
Yup.
But I couldn't get rid of my uncomfortable feeling. And I couldn't get over it until the next day around noon. So we ended up heading back to the motel to complain to the custodian. However, the police and police cars were crowded around the hotel when we got there. We found the custodian in front of the hotel entrance and approached him. What's going on here? Anyway, I'd like to tell you that we are very upset and unpleasant that we'd seen something here yesterday. While I was explaining about this, his gloomy face was slowly contorted, and he slowly opened his mouth when I finished talking. There was a woman who was killed last night in another room after being hit on the head by a baseball bat.
Oh.
The room where she died was the one right above where we were asleep yesterday.
Shoot,
And my
bro.
friend saw a woman's ghost in the ceiling almost at the same time as the woman was killed.
Oh my
The moment we
God.
heard the story, we got goosebumps and came back home hurriedly. The
Oh,
moment she died, she
shoot.
might have wanted to show up to ask us for help desperately. That's what I think to this day.
Oh, shoot, bro. That was scary, bro. That was actually, like, different from the others. It wasn't too scary. It wasn't too little scary. Just between. I mean, that's, like, not scary at all, bro. I'm just kidding, bro. Whatever. On to the next one. I found a little girl at the street. What street? 24 Service Street. Whatever. Maybe Kate. Ha ha ha.
My name is Alex, and this incident that I will never forget happened in 2019.
I feel like I've
It was
seen
about
this guy.
exactly 10 p.m.
Bruh. Who?
My name is
Wait.
Alex, and this incident that I will never forget happened.
Who freaking has friends whose faces are looking like that? What and what? What? Oh my God, bro.
In
They're
2019.
creepy.
It was about exactly 10 p.m., and I was still miles away
You're
from my
late,
house.
bro.
I couldn't drive yet due to my young age, so I was walking home by myself.
How
I
young
used
are
to be
you?
afraid of strangers and the dark, so the anxiety was getting worse.
Bro,
I
which
was walking down
neighborhood
the
are
street,
you in?
pulling out my cell phone
Like,
flashlight
bruh.
since it was pitch black outside.
Bruh.
Nobody was on the road, and I felt that was very weird because the street usually had lots of people around there.
Yup.
Let's just get back as soon as possible. I
Well,
was
that's what you're
nervous,
trying
but
to do,
didn't
right?
have
Or
a
you're
choice.
trying to go like slow?
After about an hour of walking, I heard a sudden piercing scream of a young girl. What was that? I froze in place and my heart was beating intensely. After about 30 seconds, I heard
Just
it
kidding.
again, but it was
Bro.
different. It sounded
This
like
is gonna be like
someone was being killed this
2021 new meme.
I started to run in the direction of the screaming. However, it suddenly stopped as soon as I arrived at the place.
Oh shoot.
I was terrified at this
Oh
point.
shoot.
Just then, I heard light footsteps. I shined my flashlight on, and to my surprise, there was a little girl crying with a bunch of stab wounds. The
Oh.
wounds looked serious.
Oh,
She should have
no.
died already because of that.
Who
But she
the-
was alive. I asked what happened, and she told me that she was kidnapped by a guy at the Walmart when she
I'm
was
gonna
going to buy
hit
They
you
covered
so
my
hard.
face and mouth, and I
That
passed out.
guy.
She then said that she was in a van with 3
Oi.
men inside.
Okay.
There's some other stuff I will not explain in this story because I think it's beyond normal crimes, and she doesn't want others to know what happened. So anyway, I couldn't leave her just like that, so I carried her on my back. And she was
Yeah,
light, like a
guys.
fe-
If you're in that situation, you'd listen that story and you'd be like, okay, sorry, I gotta go. You can just cry there. Bye. That's what some monster would do.
And
This
since she
guy is a
hadn't eaten
man
in
right
weeks,
now.
I
Man of the
eventually
day.
took her to my house, and my parents made some food for her.
Yep.
And it was kind of scared to
What
see her
happened to the wounds, bro? You should have taken him to the hospital, bro. Come on.
pale face and skinny body. Then I called the police, and they went to the area where I found the girl. After a
Yep.
few hours, they reported to me that they had found an old cabin and the parents' dead body of the young girl inside.
Oh, shoot.
And their bodies were brutally dismembered.
Oh,
After that,
shoot.
they had found a man with a knife hiding in the cabin.
Oh,
The girl was still eating, looking at me with a confused look, and I felt really sorry for her at that time. The criminal was arrested on the spot and eventually sent to jail for life in prison on a charge of murder. The case
yes.
seemed to end like that, but we left a girl. She had nowhere to go back. I told my parents,
To
and after
adopt
having
her.
lots of conversation, they eventually decided to adopt her. Now I'm 17 years old, and she's turned 8 years old, and we have such a good brother and sister relationship. However, to this day, I've always wondered what would have happened to her that day if I didn't go and search for where the scream had come from.
Oh, shoot, bro. Shoot, bro. That was actually like. That was weird, I guess. Okay, so out of 1 to 10. Out of 1 to poop your pants inspired by Dang Matt Smith. Let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a 7 on this one. It wasn't like too scary. Okay, on to the next one, guys. See you on the next video. Alright, on to the next one. This one, I met the weirdest guy by unit #522.
Before the story, just a little background information. I'm a 15-year-old guy living in northern Florida with my mom and my dog. We live in a 2-story apartment located in a small apartment
Bro, what kind of
complex
apartment is that,
that just
bro?
happens to be right next to an old
Bro,
cemetery.
what the heck?
Just to be clear,
Why
I
do
get out of
you
school
live
at 3 o'clock,
there?
and my mom
Shoot.
doesn't get off work until 5. So it's typical of her to take a late lunch and pick me up. Then
Yup.
go back to work for another hour and a half and get home around 5:30.
Okay.
Anyways, on with the story. So it was around 3 months
I love
after
this guy's voice. Like, it's a creepy and weird voice and a low voice. Like, I like this. This sets the scary mood.
we moved into our condo when this occurred. It was a typical Friday for me. Go to school, get home at
Bro,
3:15.
you go to school on Friday. I go only like 5 days, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and like Friday, Saturday, my holidays, bro.
And be home
What the
alone until my
heck?
mom got there. On this particular day, my mom decided to stay late and wouldn't get home until 8 o'clock.
Oh shoot!
I, like most other teenagers, didn't mind being home alone for extended periods
I mean,
of
I'm
time.
like all home
Simply
alone, like
because I got to play
probably
video
like
games
twice in a week.
without any
So yeah,
interruption.
with my little brother,
It's around
Shamli, you know
6:15.
him.
My dog was whining, so I decided
Bro,
to
he
take him
has
for
a
a walk.
dog?
As I walked downstairs, I heard
Bro.
what sounded like someone breathing outside my front door.
Shoot.
Not just light breathing. I mean, it sounded like someone had finished running a marathon or something.
Oh,
I
that
turned to
scared me.
investigate, and to my horror, I saw a tall, shirtless man standing with his face pressed directly against the glass.
Bruh.
This man had to be at least 6'7" in his mid-50s and had a lumberjack-style beard with very large glasses. My kitchen is right next to my front door,
Get
so I grabbed the
the
biggest knife I
knife.
could and told him to fuck off.
Oh,
He
shoot,
seemed
bro.
emotionless
Language.
and simply walked away. I wish the story ended there, but of course, it didn't.
It's
It
locked
was
on
now around
check.
7:30,
The back
so it was
door,
getting
front
dark,
door,
and there
roof,
was no signs
windows.
of the creepy man. So I decided it was safe to proceed outside. So me and my
Why the heck are you freaking going outside, bro? Why the frick are you going freaking
dog
outside?
walked our usual path, which led us directly past the cemetery. This time, it was different. I had this eerie feeling that I wasn't alone. I could feel someone watching
Then
me.
get the
My
heck
dog's
out of
ears
there.
perked up and eventually stopped walking altogether. He began to stare towards the cemetery and started barking uncontrollably.
Dogs and cats can see
I started
ghosts,
looking to
bro.
see what he was barking at.
My
and to my
lights are
absolute
off, so
shock,
that's why I'm
I saw the
super
same
scared,
guy
bro.
from
Like,
before.
I'm so
He looked different
scared.
though, almost like he was leaning on something,
Get
but I
the
couldn't quite see
heck out
what
of
it
there.
was. As I leaned in to take a closer look,
What
I
the-
realized that it was a shovel, and he had a red bag on the ground next to him with what looked like a human foot sticking out of the bottom of it.
Get out.
Was this creep digging a fucking grave?
Oh, shoot, language. Bro. Oh my God.
Was this creep digging a fucking grave?
Oh, shoot.
I asked myself. What happened next still sends chills down my spine. He gave me the creepiest smile I've...
No. No, bro. Bro, no. 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 I'm not making this video again. No. Bro.
ever seen. Then he simply picked up a shovel and once again began digging as if he never saw me.
Get.
Safe to say, me and my dog got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
When I got back home, my mom was already there, and I told her what happened. She called the cops, and I guess they went to the cemetery to investigate, but found nothing.
Oh, shoot.
We moved out of that place a few months later.
You
6 months have now passed,
Yup.
and I still haven't heard anything from the police. I just hope he's either dead or in jail somewhere.
Yup.
So, sick fuck in the cemetery, let's...
Oh, shoot, no. No. Okay, guys, on to the next one. This one.
I used to work at one company for about a year before I entered the company I'm working at currently. Time I was living alone with my wife.
Oh, shoot.
Although we both
Hey.
like kids, we weren't ready yet. Anyway, it was one night and I was heading home being drunk as usual after finishing a get-together. Passing through the front door of the apartment, I
Wait a
pressed
second.
for about a year. Anyway, it was one night and I was heading home being drunk as usual after finishing a get-together.
Oh, come on.
Passing through the front door of the apartment, I pressed the button to get on the
Don't
elevator.
get drunk.
And the elevator that was stopped on the third basement level began to climb slowly. Finally, the elevator arrived on the first floor. And I felt cold as soon as I walked inside.
Bro, how
It was almost
cold
12
is it?
o'clock and my body was getting hot by the effects of alcohol. But I could definitely feel chilly inside the elevator.
Bro, in the morning
Well,
or in the night,
I guess
bro?
it's because the elevator stayed deep underground for a while, I
Probably
thought.
in the night.
And then pressed the 16th floor button where I live.
Okay.
The elevator started moving slowly.
Hey,
However,
if you wanted to go to 16th floor first, then why did you get out of the elevator? Like,
It
Jeez.
suddenly stopped on the 5th floor. Normally, the people in my apartment didn't take the elevator very often at the time. So I was standing in the
Why,
middle of the
bro? Like-
elevator. As soon as the door opened, I stepped aside. But no one was standing there.
Shoot, what kind of
I
button
thought
is
someone
that
who was
button?
impatient must have pressed the button and then just went up to the emergency exit stairs. So I pressed the close button and the elevator stopped again on the 6th floor. And there's no one there either.
Close.
When the elevator stopped on the 7th floor, I suddenly got angry. Hey, stop! I stuck my head out the door and shouted,
Yep.
but I didn't feel any human presence upstairs. A sudden shudder passed over me, but still I thought it was someone's prank. The elevator then stopped again on the 8th floor while going up,
Bruh.
but this time there was a little girl standing
Nah.
in front of the door.
Hey, nah.
She seemed like she was about 6 or 7 years old, but you know what was a
You
strange
see
thing
these
about her?
hands?
Despite the late hours, there was no one around her. Like parents. You know, someone like that. But this kid just stood there still, without getting up.
Bro, if she stood there,
Hey
close
kid,
the
are
door.
you gonna get in? I asked. But she didn't answer.
Then close
As
it.
soon as I felt chill somewhere, I soon pressed the close button of the elevator.
Thank the Lord.
Just as the door was closing halfway through, she pressed the open button again. The short kid standing on tiptoes opened the elevator door, so I told her again to get inside. However, she still stood there without answering. Just at that time, I thought this was the one who's been playing pranks on me. So I pointed my finger at the CCTV and yelled at her not to prank anymore. Then the girl staring at me slowly opened her mouth. I'll get in when my mom comes, she answered in a small voice. But I
Okay,
couldn't
that's
see any
reasonable.
shadow of people no matter how much I looked around. But somehow her voice seemed really dark and creepy. It wasn't a childlike voice at all.
You see these
I pressed the
muscles?
close button again roughly, and fortunately the kid didn't press the open button this time. The elevator started going up again and didn't stop on the
Straight
next floor.
man.
With a sigh of relief, I just wanted to get off and get home as soon as possible.
Yup.
It was at that very moment. I was on the 11th floor and the light suddenly started blinking. I was staring at the light with a nervous mind, and something was strange with it.
Bro, what kind of camera is that? Look at that CCTV camera light right over there, bro. What kind of camera is that?
There was some spot on the light that was stained, as if someone had dropped black ink.
Alright,
And to my surprise,
I'm ready.
it was getting bigger and bigger every time the light went on and off. It can't be. I'm imagining because I drank too much. I kept repeating it inside, but the stains grew bigger and bigger as if it was teasing me.
Bro,
Although I was sweating on my back, it was still chilly inside the
bro,
elevator.
at this point,
And the
get
moment I looked at the
out,
light
go
and then looked straight
downstairs,
front
bro.
this
Look-
time, I couldn't help but doubt my eyes.
Oh, shoot.
There,
no,
I could
no,
see a
no,
person's hand reflected on my back.
Bro, nah.
Seriously?
Nah.
I was the only one in this
Come
elevator.
here. Come
After
on.
having confidence that there's an unknown thing that exists here, I was seized with extreme fear. The time to go up to the 16th floor was like an eternity. I couldn't hold my fear back. I eventually pressed the button to get off the 14th floor. I was about
Just
to
go
pop
to
out as soon as the
16th
door
floor,
opened,
bro.
but I had to stop suddenly. The girl I saw on the 8th floor was standing there, like she was waiting for me.
Just go.
I felt like my heart was sinking. Shivering, just as I was about to get off, she raised her head
You
slowly.
see these muscles?
At that moment, I saw it. Unlike before, she was smiling brightly,
Oh,
as
shoot,
if
no.
her mouth was going to be ripped soon.
Shoot.
My mom is here now. I'm going to get in. Mom, what's she talking about?
Get
I'm sure
down.
the elevator was empty from the basement floor. Besides, not even a small rat was to be seen, let alone a human while I was inside. Then, who is it? I was strained to the limit, and my legs were trembling. I almost pushed the child and ran out of the elevator to the emergency stairs. For some reason, I was afraid that I'd never see my wife again if I stayed here.
Yup.
I was going up the stairs frantically. Just then, the sensor at the emergency exit started
Oh,
turning on much faster than my speed. It's like someone was already going up.
Nope. Get
I was
out.
about to go insane. When I finally reached the 16th floor, I flung the emergency door open and rushed out of. I turned. I tried to run toward my house, and then someone was standing in front of the house.
No.
The woman with incredibly long hair and the girl I saw at the elevator. They were there.
Oh,
How the heck did they know my house? I didn't know what was going on right now, but only one thing came to my mind for a moment. I must not go back home now.
Never.
I barely managed to turn back and carefully twisted the emergency door again. And at that moment, my sweaty hand just slipped and the door clanked in the quiet hallway. The moment I looked into the hallway with a desire to cry, I suddenly heard a sound from the end of the hall. It was the sound of a woman's shoes and baby shoes.
What? Just get
I pushed
out.
the emergency
Open the
exit
door.
door.
Out.
While I ran frantically downstairs, I could hear the shoe sounds behind me at regular intervals. Almost rolling over myself, I went down through the front door and then rushed into the lighted security office. However, the security guard was just patrolling his round at that time, so he was not there. I lifted my trembling body and looked at the front door through the small window in the front. And at that moment, I felt my legs weaken. A woman and a child didn't come out of the front door, but they were glaring at me fiercely, as if they were going to kill me.
Bro,
I was about to scream, but just then, the guard came into the office. He got surprised to see me trembling and asked me what was going on. I tried to explain by pointing my hand at the front door, but then I realized that there was no one.
Guys, sorry for the interruption.
Eventually, the security guard came to my house with me. To my surprise, my wife, who thought she was asleep already, was waiting for me with the lights on.
Shoot.
And what my wife told me was a surprise itself. She said that someone rang our doorbell when I was seeing the woman and kid in front of my house. My wife thought it was me out there, so she walked to the front door to open it. But then she felt something wasn't right, because whenever I came home late at night after dinner, I always acted more carefully instead of ringing the bell. So my wife turned on the intercom and looked out. But there was no one. And when she returned to her seat, the bell rang again.
Yup.
The same situation repeated, on and on. So this time she was looking closely at the screen when the moment the bell rang without putting down the phone. And there was the face of the woman who filled the screen to the full.
Uh-oh.
At first, it's like someone was sticking her face on the screen
sir,
intentionally.
not.
But when my wife looked closely, her face looked so pale, as if it were dead already.
No.
She urgently turned on all the light right away and tried to call the administration office. However, the guard didn't answer because he was just on patrol at that time. And I was running downstairs like crazy. When my wife saw the intercom screen again, it was already gone. The next day's morning,
Bro, listen to me. I know. That was scary as heck. Even these muscles can't do anything, bro. Like, nothing. These muscles. Just showing off my muscles right now. Whatever, bro. Okay. Lost vid. Alright, let's go. Last vid. Alright, okay, on to the next video, bro. Let's go. My true scary experience at my grandma's house. Okay, let's go.
when I was a
Strong
kid,
muscles
I
out.
visited my grandmother's house
Gotta
with
bring
my
out the
younger brother
big
in the middle of
guns.
summer.
Gotta bring out the big guns.
Like all the children, I was having a good time wandering around or playing
Yeah. Bro,
After the sun
it's
went down, I was
Corona
talking
now.
to my grandmother while we were having dinner together, and she suddenly said like this,
Shoot.
"Do not go out of this house late at night."
Grandma
Her
was
face
scaring
looked
me,
really
bro.
serious. Her warning without a reason was weird to me at first,
Grandma was
and it was a little
scaring me.
scary for me, being a young child. But soon I thought it was because the outside was too dark to go out and play. Because my grandmother's house was located in the countryside, we had to ride our bikes for almost 30 minutes to go to the nearest convenience store. And there was no street lamp on the road, so it was pitch black.
Okay.
After eating dinner, my brother and I went to bed.
Bruh,
At about 1 a.m., my
Talk
brother
about
suddenly started
luxury.
whining that he wants ice cream. I recalled my grandmother's words not to go out at night. However, I suddenly wanted to
Bruh.
have some ice cream too.
No.
I mean, what can I do? We ended up riding a bike together secretly and out to the town to get some ice cream. After finishing ice cream, we were on our way back home. We were riding our bikes on the road, chattering about Pokemon, which was popular at the time. Then all of a sudden, my
Pokemon!
brother told me like this. Hey, the shortcut is over there. However, it was
Get
so
out.
dark around that I couldn't see the way that he pointed.
Get the
And I don't know
heck
why.
out.
But I did not want to go that way.
Yep.
Nah, let's just go back the way we came.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that and looked forward, I could see my brother in front of me, who I thought was behind me. What the?
Get out.
The
Go.
moment I realized sent a chill
Get
down my spine.
the
Then who was it who's been talking
Get
behind me?
out of
It
there.
was that very moment that I remembered my grandmother's words. Do not go out of this house late at night. Sweating like a pig, I pedaled vigorously on my bicycle as best I could and arrived at my grandma's house. I started to get off my bike in a hurry, and then I heard a sudden voice
Yeah,
coming
screw
from my
the
ear
bike,
at that
bro.
very moment.
Shoot.
Too bad. I dragged my brother's wrist, went back to
Screw
our room,
the
and ended up staying
bike.
all night covered in a blanket. The next day, we kept the fact that we went out at night yesterday under wraps while we were eating breakfast, and we took a bus to go back home.
Like,
What the heck was that voice yesterday?
yeah, bro.
Being curious, I started to look around carefully while I was sitting next to the window. And finally, the bus passed where I'd been yesterday. And at that very moment, I froze.
What?
It was a cliff. What would have happened if I headed for a shortcut because of the voice that I heard from behind on that day? Even now, whenever I visit my grandma's house, I still think about that moment and get goosebumps.
Bro. Creepy 10 out of 10, bro. Like that? Okay, guys. I'm gonna give this one like a 5. I mean, it wasn't that scary. Grandma be scaring me a little because grandma was scared. Yeah. So, guys, yeah. Yeah, what was comment down below, what was your scariest video? So, yeah, whatever, bro. Okay, goodbye, subscribe, hit that bell button so you'll never miss any one of my videos, and do all that stuff. Comment down below what you want me to do, and do all that stuff. Subscribe for more Blue City Bells, more scary videos, do all that. Thank you very much. Goodbye.